Welcome to New Vintage Entertainment. Today's movie review is going to be 1987's Fatal Attraction. The director is Adrian Lyne, starring Michael Douglas, Glenn Close, and Ann Archer. Let's go. The story is about a married man having an affair. It's as simple as that. So Dan, Michael Douglas, is married to Beth, Ann Archer, with a daughter. So Dan is a lawyer who meets Alex, Glenn Close, and soon after they have an affair. Dan was trying to keep it cute and just see Alex, when he get a chance to see her. Or be together when they get a chance to be together. But Alex wanted to continue to see Dan. And so they had only spent a weekend together. And it proved, to be a heck of a weekend. And so Alex knew from the beginning that Dan was married, and she had even met his wife. Alex attempted several ploys to continue to see Dan, with the unexpected result. So Dan tried, very nicely to stay clear of Alex. He knew that if he continued to have an affair with her, it would prove to be problematic. So Alex would not take no for an answer. So her attempts to see Dan kept escalating until finally Dan had to tell Beth, about the affair. Alex then took Dan's daughter, took her for a few hours, kidnapping. And that led to Beth having a car accident. So with Dan's whole family involved, Dan goes to see Alex, to confront her about messing with his family. And they have a fight, and Dan leaves. So Alex slips into Dan's house where Beth and their daughter stay. And Alex confronts Beth. Imagine that. Alex confronts Beth and attacks her. Dan then runs in the room to try to, save Beth. And Dan and Alex have another fisticuffs, and essentially it ends there. The interesting parts of the movie was the creative ways that Alex harassed Dan. In the beginning, Dan was the bad guy. You hated Dan because he had an affair. But by the end of the movie, you change your mind a little bit. New vintage fun fact. There was an alternate ending for this movie that was pretty good also. It was a lot more dramatic than the film version. The alternate version had more to do with the symbolism of the film. But to be honest, either ending was good. So the ending that was in the movie, that made it to the movie, it was good also. If you want to see the alternate ending, I will leave the YouTube link in the description. I will give this movie a C++. The performances were good by Michael Douglas, and Ann Archer even gave a good performance as a cheated on wife. But Glenn Close really did her thing in this movie, really did her thing. It had a cultural impact at the time because you were afraid to have an affair, to even meet new people. Well, people were only scared for about a second, but you were, looking at people all sideways when you first met them, hoping they wouldn't be like Alex Forrest. Fatal Attraction brought the phase, "I won't be ignored, Dan," to life. If you heard someone say that, beware of what's to come. The movie was a pop cultural favorite too because the film was erotic. It only had about 2 scenes that were erotic, but back in 1987, Fatal Attraction was it. Tell me in the comments what you thought of Fatal Attraction. So be sure and like the video and subscribe to the channel, and catch you later.